Welcome back, guys. Sweet Chris here, and I'm coming to you with the December edition of NetSuite News. So a few different things I want to talk about, and we'll start off with upcoming events. As I mentioned in the last NetSuite News, there is a series of virtual events called Suite Fundamentals, and those are free to access. You can go on the website. I think at the date of this video posting, there's one actually happening on that day. There's one happening 2 days later. There's a few more happening in early January. So just check it out. See if there's any particular virtual sessions that are of note for you. If so, you can take advantage of those. There's also some events coming up called Suite Connects, which are basically they have a handful, maybe a dozen or 2 dozen of these events every year. They have them all over the world in major cities, and they're basically like mini Suite Worlds, really mini Suite Worlds, where they have kind of cool events. They've got some food, they've got seminars, on-hands training, and unlike Suite World, they are free. You just have to register and show up. So if that's something that's interesting to you, certainly if it's happening in your city, I would recommend you at least take the time to check it out. There's one coming up in New York and another one in San Francisco. Both of those are happening in February. So if you live in either of those cities and you interact with NetSuite at all, just might as well check it out. It's free. So that is Suite Connect. You can go onto the NetSuite website and register and take advantage of those. The next topic I want to take up is related to SuperTraining highlights, just some kind of info and new things regarding the channel. First off, I do want to say we are well into the month of December, and I've been running a coupon, like a 25% off discount for all courses and all packages for the entirety of December. I've sent out emails on that. I've posted it with a whole countdown clock on the website. And despite that, I constantly have signups of people not taking advantage of the discount. Like literally, I would say 90% of the people that are signing up for courses right now don't use that discount, even though it's plastered right on the front page of the website. So please take advantage of that. If you go on the website, you'll see the countdown clock. It's got the coupon right there. You simply put that in and you'll get 25% off anything that you purchase. So please, if you want to take advantage, if you're already going to buy one of these courses, you might as well take 25% off. Secondly, I want to cover the fact that I am getting very close to finishing the manufacturing course. I know I've been talking about that for some time. It's been pretty beefy in general. It's going to be a great course, but I realized I really need to lengthen it out to make sure that I covered all the major bases. So that will be coming out in the next couple weeks, and it's going to be a good one. So keep your eye out for that if you are interested. So the next thing I want to talk about is in relation to career paths. I have news, but also not really news. It's kind of interesting. When you are ready to take the NetSuite exam, for any exam, whether that's Suite Foundation or ERP Consultant, the NetSuite website actually provides you with sample questions that you can use to drill and make sure that you're prepared for the exam. Now, they basically have sample tests for all of their tests, and each one of them will have a date on it, and they were all dated for mid-2023. That was what the sample tests were for the longest time up until last month. So I would constantly get asked by people that are taking my prep course. I would run through some of the sample questions, and people would ask me, are you sure that this course is still relevant? You know, you're looking at sample questions from over a year ago. How do you know that's still going to be pertinent for the upcoming exam? So I just wanted to be clear. They did come out with updated sample tests for all of their exams. So that's in some way news, especially if you're interested in getting your certifications. However, I did a comparison, not of all of them, but I kind of loosely checked out all of them, and then I did back-to-back comparisons of one in particular to see what was the old sample questions that they provided and what were the new sample questions. And out of, I don't think it was like 50 questions, it was identical from the old one to the new 2024, I think it was like October 2024 sample questions, completely identical, except for one question had the exact same answers were listed, but instead of selecting one correct answer, they decided that it was actually a different answer. Maybe they figured out that it was wrong the whole time. I don't know. But the point is, the sample questions really haven't changed. And the fact is, the questions on the actual exam are also not really changing. Just like with most features and functions that NetSuite has, they change things at a glacial pace. So what's true for the exam even 5 years ago is pretty close to being true in the present. I would say the exception to that is relating to the developers courses. Those have gone through some pretty significant changes more recently. But when you come to the Suite Foundation or the administration administrators or the ERP consultant exam, these things have changed very slowly over the years. They have just a couple things. They'll take out some questions, they'll add in some new ones. But even then, they've got questions from like the native web store that nobody uses. And they don't even have questions for Suite Analytics, which has been a very useful tool for at least 5 years. And there's literally 0 questions about that on any of those exams. So are things changing? Can you take advantage of one of these prep courses or even some of the older sample tests and have them still be relevant? Absolutely. You shouldn't be particularly worried about that. Next up, I want to talk about the app of the month. This is one I've actually talked about over a year ago, but there's been updates happening continuously. So I want to talk about the SuiteAdvanced browser plugin. This is a plugin that you can basically download and it will work on, if let's say you're using a Chrome browser or Safari, and it's a small fee. I don't remember exactly how much it is a month, but it's pretty cheap. And this thing basically includes hundreds of different quality of life improvements. And this is made by a friend of mine named Adam Smith. He is one of the best SuiteScript developers literally on the planet. He's exceptionally good at it. And not only that, but he's a passionate about NetSuite. So kind of like as a side project, he made this plugin and he constantly updates it with new features that just make things easier in NetSuite, especially if you're a power user like a functional consultant or a developer, administrators, or even frequent users. This thing has so many useful things. For example, there's a dark mode feature. So if you're a developer and you like working in dark mode, you can take advantage of that. You don't have to look at the white screen constantly. There's all kinds of little customization features. There's a new feature that came out that kills any pop-ups. So if you've had to go out into a saved search and there's like buy Suite Analytics Warehouse, you don't have to have that pop-up. It just kills it automatically. If you want improved drag and drop capability for the file cabinet, there's all kinds of things like that. There's a little thing that allows you, if you basically click a button, you can see all the field IDs for any field or button on the screen. So if you're doing a lot of scripting, you can take advantage of that. You basically, and by the way, there's a trial version. So if you just want to check it out, look at the various features, see which ones might be helpful for you, take advantage of it. Again, there's hundreds of quality of life improvements that take everything that's clunky and annoying about NetSuite and just facilitates it, makes it faster, makes it more accessible. So minimally check it out if you frequently use NetSuite and see if it's something that could be helpful for you. I know personally, and for every functional consultant that I've ever worked with, it's just like a must-have. It's so, so helpful. Again, that's called SuiteAdvanced, and I'll include a link down for that below if you want to take advantage of that. And lastly, I want to talk about, just from a NetSuite tips standpoint, we're coming up on the end of the year. So I know a lot of companies are going to attempt to go live on December 31st. And I understand the appeal. It's a clean break. You can basically say that 2024 was the old system, 2025 is on the new system. So there's a lot of appeal of that. In some of my videos, I've talked about many reasons why I do not recommend trying to go live by the end of December, but there's going to be companies that are locked into that. They're already gunning for it. So understood, just be aware of the fact that, and you're probably feeling it already, it is a huge time commitment, especially at that time where people are already taking time off work and they've got family commitments and things like that. You need to be fully aware of how much of a time commitment that will be to actually successfully go live on the 31st of December. Know that it is a monumental effort. Be aware of that. Make sure your team is aware of that and the fact that people are going to have to make certain sacrifices and put in a lot of extra time to be able to pull that off successfully. And that's it for the NetSuite news in December 2024. As always, if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you in the new year.